Welcome to episode number 2 of the Writer's Block. And today I'm welcoming on my very wonderful guest, Mr. Yehuda Remer, who has written this very excellent book called The 10 Little Liberals. And he also wrote another book that I don't actually have behind me called Safety On, A Child's Guide to Gun Safety, I believe is the full name of that book. Correct?
Close enough. An introduction to the world of firearms.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Welcome onto the Writer's Block. It is good. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you. What's it been?
Oh, God. I don't know. When was the last big Palestinian-Israeli conflict when Mohammed and I got into it?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. It must have been about a good 5-6 months, something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to be about 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think it was right when 10 Little Liberals came out.
I think it was right when 10 Little Liberals came out.
Oh, so you haven't seen the new book that came out right after that one, the ABCs of Guns?
I've seen that online, but we haven't talked about it on the show.
All right, well, there we go. Now we have a topic.
Yeah, I like texting my guests 5 minutes beforehand going, what are we going to talk about?
Exactly.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. So you have a new book, The ABCs of Guns. That's the coloring book one?
No.
No.
The coloring book was the additional educational book for Safety On.
Okay.
It's the exact same book as Safety On, just in coloring book format. The ABCs of Guns, hold on one second. Let me grab it so you can see it. Is literally...
Oh, it is the ABCs of Guns.
Literally an ABC book.
D is for double barrel, G is for grip, I is for iron sight. I like this.
Like you'll have, obviously A is for ammunition and AR-15.
Of course.
And of course the two big ones that I like, which I need to bookmark and send to MSNBC and CNN. C is for clip.
C is for, yeah.
And M is for magazine, I gotta, just so they actually learn the difference.
Just so they know the difference between a clip and a magazine.
Exactly. So I gotta bookmark that and send them copies of that book.
Yeah. Oh man, so it's amazing how the gun control experts in this country just never seem to stop. Like, no matter what, they just assume that we need more gun control. And obviously it's not working. Here in Florida, I don't know if you know this or not, but here in Florida, as part of the gun bill that they passed, which banned people from 18 to 20 from buying rifles, actually didn't do that. It banned people 18 from 20 from buying rifles in a store, but you can still do them in private sales and at gun shows.
I did not know that.
I learned that yesterday. I was so excited to tell you this.
Yeah, I did not know that. And although that's not as bad as everyone's seen, but it's still, if you're a 20-year-old girl going to University of Florida or any college there, you decide you want to get a gun for protection because you live right off campus. It's ridiculous that they don't have that ability to do so.
I do agree with that, but so I was talking with some people at an event yesterday. I don't know if you saw who that event was with.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
It's nice that your blonde hair, blue eyes forgets that I'm a Jew, and it was my Sabbath yesterday. But
do you not use Facebook on the Sabbath?
Oh man, we can't do anything. It's literally. There's no electronics at all. Like, if we want a light on, we have to either leave it on or put it on a timer. It's literally 25 hours of electronic free.
Oh, wow. Okay, I did not know that. I knew it was you take a break from everything, but I wasn't sure as to what extent that was.
Yeah, everything. We literally... if we want warm food on Saturday, we usually have like a hot plate that's on a timer. Like, we can't turn anything on or off. We can't drive. We can't, no Facebook, no texting, no Instagram.
What about like charcoal grilling?
No,
No. Okay. Wow.
can't light a fire.
Okay.
But I can barbecue before the Sabbath starts Friday afternoon, and then warm it up. If let's say we keep our oven on for 25 hours at let's say 200 degrees, I can throw the food in the oven and warm it up that way.
Okay.
Can't do actually anything really.
Okay.
But,
okay. I did not know. I did not know to the extent of which that was. I knew that it was the Sabbath. I just didn't know how deep that one went.
oh yeah, literally. I mean, it's 25 hours of absolute disconnecting from the world.
Wow.
Uh,
That
a
sounds
lot.
wonderful.
You know what? I used to hate it because I used to be like this absolute news junkie that I needed to know every second what was going on. But ever since I kind of stepped away from the political world and really concentrating on my gun education, and we talked about the Pew Pew Jew, and ever since I started dealing with that more, it's been easier to like just disconnect for 25 hours, just because I'm not focused on the political world anymore. And I have to admit, it's so nice not being focused on that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still follow the news and follow what's going on, but it's not like I'm glued to it and I need to be part of every aspect of whether it's the education, whether it's tax reform, whatever it is. I just kind of step back, and it's really nice.
That's awesome. But yeah, also part of that bill that they passed was that they were going to put security into all the schools, but they weren't going to pay for new police. They were only giving them enough money for like private security with a gun. And one of the counties just south of me, Manatee County, is hiring a group called the Guardians, and they're hiring private citizens that are going to be trained by police, and they're going to be the only people carrying on campus. And their job is seriously, if there is an active shooter, you neutralize them. And
you mean not like the Broward County Sheriff's Department?
No, you would have to be there in the building. You would actually come inside the building and do what needs to be done. Unlike Broward County. But yeah, somebody offered me that job.
I'm sure it doesn't. I'm sure it has to pay decently.
Yeah, and most of the day you're just sitting there, like just kind of waiting for something you don't ever want to happen. So you get to work on whatever else you're working on.
Right, and you just always have to. I mean, look, I'm a big believer in. I had a big debate with a buddy of mine who also is a veteran, and he likes the idea of veterans being hired as school security, but on the same side, on the flip side, he's like, you do need to be careful because a lot of these veterans do suffer from PTSD,
right?
And a lot of them hide it very well, where they still talk a big game, but then if they're actually put into a situation where they're in some sort of gun battle, no matter who it's with, you don't want that PTSD to snap and they can't do their job.
Right. Now, that is definitely a concern.
Right.
That's definitely a concern that I definitely understand, which is kind of why I like how the way that Manatee County is doing it is they are hiring people, and they are looking for people with military background, but not a lot.
I mean, I hear that. Look, if they're going to hire someone who's a veteran to guard schools, I mean, they should have to have some sort of psychological test to ensure that, they are going to be able to do the job. Now, I'm not saying a psychological test for any kind of gun-related thing. That's a whole different situation. I'm talking about being psychologically sound to actually defend the school if need be. That's all I'm saying.
Which I believe almost anybody in that sort of a position should have to go through that kind of a psychological test.
Agreed.
Because, we don't want somebody who's going to be there who's not going to be able to do what needs to be done.
Right.
Or somebody who's going to be there that's going to go way off course when something starts coming up.
Right.
So I do definitely agree that we need to have some psychological tests done for the people that are going to be protecting the children of these schools, in my own personal opinion. But the Pew Pew Jew.
Yes.
Yes. I've been watching your Instagram and your Facebook, and I've been seeing all of this stuff come up. Tell us a little bit about what that is, which, by the way, is the greatest name ever.
So it started about 8 months ago. I was talking to a friend of mine who is a journalist in the gun industry, and he jokingly called me the Pew Pew Jew. And I was like, oh, that has a great ring to it. And I decided about 3 months ago, something like, give or take, something like that. I don't remember exactly the time, but to change my Instagram handle and my Twitter handle to @thePewPewJew. The reason is, yet there are many Jews who do support firearms. Most of the time, they're very quiet about it.
Right.
You know, in the Jewish world, Jews get a very bad rap of being very anti-gun, which is very true on many cases. But you do have your Jews out there who are very pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment. They just, because of the way our communities are set up, they tend to be a little more quiet about it rather than being vocal. I, on the other hand, I'm taking a different approach. I am an American. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm Jewish. I've been born. I've always been Jewish my whole life. But my religion doesn't define my nationality. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. First and foremost, I am an American. I happen to be an American Jew. I'm not a Jewish American. Just like, I have friends who always tell me, like, we're not African Americans. We're Americans.
Right.
We were never in Africa, and we are American. So I take it the same way. I am a American Jew. That said, I'm very vocal about the Second Amendment. As someone who lost over 30 relatives during the Holocaust, I believe wholeheartedly in what the Second Amendment stands for. And not just, to defend yourself against, a robber coming in or a mugger or whatever. I'm talking about, against the tyrannical government. Now, I don't think the United States would ever get to that point, but the Second Amendment is there specifically for that reason. So I took this persona as the Pew Pew Jew. I already had 3 books out on firearms, mainly for children, but still on firearms. I'm building up a fan base of people who are, big gun people in the industry who see what I'm trying to do, see that I'm trying to give a voice to the Jews in America, dealing with the Second Amendment. So I kind of took this persona as the Pew Pew Jew, and now, I'm setting up a shop. I'm going to have some pretty awesome shirts and kind of, grunt style.
Right.
So grunt style has been a very big inspiration for me. I have some buddies who work at Grunt Style, and I've hung out with them, and I was like, I love Grunt Style shirts. I've got tons of them, but I'm like, hey, I'm going to come out with the same style of shirts, but under my label of the Pew Pew Jew. So they're going to be out soon.
Right. You sent me a couple of the mock-ups earlier, and I'm going to have to tell everybody that they are really fantastic. He asked me not to share any of them, so I won't. But they're good.
Yeah, I mean they're really fun. I have a few of them. Like I have the Pew Pew Jew logo on a shirt, which I'm going to be selling, and then the other ones are going to be pretty awesome. They're going to be pretty fun. Definitely going to get a kick out of it. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give the Jews in America a voice, and don't be ashamed of the fact that you're a gun owner. You should be proud of the fact that you have the ability to carry a firearm or own a firearm for any kind of self-defensive purposes without the SS kicking down your door or Gestapo kicking down your door.
Right. Are the shirts kosher?
Yes, they will all be kosher. I might even get my rabbi to bless them.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm certain that's worth a good $10, $15 more. So as far as as far as the way that gun control is going in the country, which way do you see it heading personally? Is it more of a state-by-state thing, or do you see a national trend that's happening?
I think what's going to happen is well, first and foremost, I think that you will see national reciprocity passed. I don't think it's going to be this year. Going into an election year, going into the midterms, we do have a very spineless Republican Party, and
that is undeniable.
That's right. Yeah, and I think that's even an understatement. You have maybe like 5 guys in guys and girls in all of Congress and the Senate who actually have some sort of backbone. But I don't see national reciprocity being passed this year. I would kind of be shocked. It is a possibility that over the next 2 years it will be passed if Trump wins re-election in 2020. I'm pretty sure it will get passed sometime in the next 6 years if he wins. But in terms of, I think if you are going to see any kind of gun rights passed, it will be state by state. It will be more of a states' rights issue rather than a national issue.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day with the midterms coming up, and I was talking about the Democratic Party, and I was saying the Democratic Party does not seem to know what issues to focus on at the midterm elections, because they're focusing really heavily on immigration. They're focusing really heavily on guns. Like, those seem to be the 2 major things that are in the media right now, besides tariffs. But while people like you, me, Mohammed, a couple other people are really adamant about tariffs. And I mean, we're against them in all capacity for the most part, but when you're focused on immigration and gun control, if you just throw taxes in there, those are going to be the 3 things that are going to get the Republican base moving to come out to vote. And the Democrats seem to be focusing on this, and it's going to mobilize the Republican Party, which I think that focusing on these issues actually hurts the Democrats in the 2018 midterms.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You have the exact same reason why Trump kind of, I don't want to say destroyed Hillary, but beat her pretty badly in 2016 was because of the exact same thing that you're seeing now. You have the Democrats coming after Republicans for anything they do, not calling Trump Hitler. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like the same people who are calling Trump Hitler are also calling for all civilians to give up their guns, and you're like how?
Right. You're talking on both sides of the. They're not you. They are talking on both sides of the coin here. They're like, oh, he's Hitler, but give up your guns, and it's
right. And the more they come after Trump and his base, there's a reason why we voted for Trump, is because they came after his base.
Right.
Now, immigration, I saw a poll recently this past week that Trump is up 10% with the Hispanic voters. He's up 10%. You see tons and tons of Hispanic, legal immigrants who are like, no, we stand with Trump. We did it the right way. We're going to vote for him. So you see that. You see, the tax cuts was huge.
Yeah, the tax cut bill that it came out with in December of last year, I thought it was an amazing bill.
Right.
At the event that I was at yesterday, Senator Rand Paul was there, which is why I was wondering if you saw that. So when I was at his event, he was talking about the tax cuts, and he said that he liked what the tax cuts did. He was like, everybody from 95,000 down got a tax break. So you can't say that the tax cuts are only for the wealthy. And in fact, the people on the wealthy end, because of certain deductions that got taken out they actually didn't receive any tax. Like, they're paying a lower rate, but they don't get the deductions, so they're actually paying just about the same amount. Whereas the people on the lower end of the scale, 75,000 and down or 95,000 and down, they are getting an extreme tax break. So the tax cuts that were given were really, really good. Like, it doesn't actually help the wealthy all that much, because they're paying basically about the same amount. But the people on the lower end, you know, the middle class, the lower middle class, and the lower class, they're all getting a tax break, which is what they've always wanted. Right. It's what I've always wanted anyway, because that's where I am. I'm right in that range.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I think in 2018, I think, you know, everyone's talking about the blue wave, but when you have morons and just fully morally inept politicians like Maxine Waters calling on you know, the Democrats to go and cause violence against, you know, anyone who is against the Democrats.
Right.
I mean, we're like, you know, look, I walk around with a gun on my hip every day. It's like, bring it. Like, what are you guys going to do? You know, like, obviously I'm not looking to get into any kind of fight or altercation, but you want to know why America is so pissed off right now? It's because people like Maxine Waters.
Right. And she, you know, she came out today or yesterday, I don't remember which one, but she was complaining about getting death threats from Trump supporters, which, you know, I'm not condoning the death threats against Maxine Waters. I think those are just as abhorrent as what she was saying. But, you know, she was the one that was calling for the violence against people who support Trump. She was saying, you know, kick these people out of your restaurants, you know, do whatever you can, you know, and it's like they're now just reacting to what you had said. And if you don't see that, it's only because you don't want to see it. Like, you can't ask for violence against a group of people and then not expect the blowback against you. Yeah.
No, it's 100% true. And I find it, I don't know, I just find it crazy. Like, for example, like, I literally, about an hour and a half ago, I went to the supermarket right by my house, and I went to the bakery to grab a few things. The woman behind the bakery sees my shirt that I'm wearing. This is all recorded. No one's going to see. People going to see any video here or no?
Yeah, they will see video.
They will see. Okay, so I was wearing this shirt, right? The one that says the Pew Pew Jew, right? My new logo.
Right.
And
great logo, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very proud of it. And the woman behind the counter, she goes, "Oh, you know, that's a very interesting shirt, a very interesting logo." I'm like, "Well, thank you. No, I'm trying very hard to promote it because I really believe in it." She's like, "Oh, what is that?" I said, "You know, like we just talked about, giving Jews a voice in the gun industry, showing the country that not all Jews are anti-gun." She goes, "Well, you can believe that, but I prefer life over destruction." So I was like, so would I. And sometimes you need to destroy the bad to save the good.
Save the good.
She's like, "Okay, honey, you can believe that if you want." And then she just walks away. I'm like, wow. Like,
the condescension that you get from many of the people on the left when talking about, especially about guns, I find. Because that's their answer, is just to be condescending and just hurtful, essentially, in the way that they speak to you when they're talking about it. You know, in here, you know, where like at the kava bars and stuff where Muhammad and I hang out, every once in a while we get into political discussions, even though we try to avoid them when we're there. And the people there will be very adamant about guns, and they're, you know, anti-gun. Guns are evil. Guns are bad. Guns cause death. And, you know, we'll try to explain it to them, and you get the same sort of responses of you can believe that if you want, or no, I prefer life. And it's so, you know, where do we say we don't prefer life? We're not condoning school shootings. We're against those. We don't want that to happen. You know, we're not out there fighting for people to go shoot up a school. We want those to stop. We think the best way to do it is to protect the children.
I agree 100%. It's just, it really is absurd the way the left thinks, and how I guess how much they rely on the government to do everything for them. It's just no, I don't. You know, I think the average response time of law enforcement is like the national response time is like 11 minutes.
Right.
Well, that's a freaking eternity. If a guy comes into my house, 11 minutes is just forever.
Right.
I'm not waiting for a police officer to defend my family.
Yeah, an 11-minute response time if the guy is in your house. That's the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That is essentially going to be the rest of your life. You don't have enough time after that. I was surprised that at the Capital Gazette in Annapolis, where the tragic shooting happened the other day, the response time on that, I think, was 90 seconds.
Wow.
I think I read that was 90 seconds for the response time. And that's absolutely incredible.
90 seconds, and how many people were killed again?
4.
4 in 90 seconds?
4 or 5.
Right, I'm saying that's 90 seconds. Imagine if it was 11 minutes.
Yes, 11 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever it is.
Right.
On another podcast that I watched, they were talking that the average response time in Detroit is, Detroit or Chicago, was 90 minutes.
Oh, don't tell me that. I'm going to Chicago next week.
I'm certain not in that part of Chicago. You're fine.
And they don't have reciprocity, so I can't even bring my Glock with me.
Right. Yeah, it's insane that the areas where gun control is the highest, typically. Like Maryland's gun control laws, I'm not 100% sure on, but in areas where gun control is the highest, like Chicago, Detroit, the response time for these events is so high. Wow.
I think it's also a matter of, it might come out the wrong way, but a lot of times when you have a place like Chicago that is literally a battlefield, the cops don't want to just go busting in when you have, let's say you even have 100 cops go in, but there's 5,000 people around. I mean, the odds aren't great.
Right. No.
So, I think they need the situation to de-escalate before they choose to go in. Now, I understand part of their job is to go into situations where gunfire and violence are happening, but in a place where going into a battlefield is a little different.
And many of these areas are going to be very much like a battlefield. We're ridden with gang violence. Chicago, Detroit, parts of LA, New York, DC. Of course, they're not going to want to go in as quickly, but at the same time, for the people there who just want to be safe,
right?
It sucks for them. And if they had better ways to protect themselves, like being able to own, handguns in their home or whatever, that would be able to help aid in cutting down on all of the violence going on in these areas.
Right. Yeah. Just shows you the more gun control we have, the less safe that community is.
Right. Yeah. So when is the Pew Pew Jew? When is all of that going to be launching? Like, I know you got the patches that are out. I know you're getting ready to do the store.
So the shop, I'm hoping, if any of your listeners know how to use Shopify well, I'm having some issues trying to figure it out. I'll send you a signed copy of my book, but I need to get my Shopify. Once I get the store up, I already have about 5 T-shirt designs that are ready to go. I'm also going to have, mugs and posters and everything based on the Pew Pew Jew. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Excellent. That is pretty much all the time we got. This show is much shorter than my other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming on. Do you have anything you want to plug here at the end, even though we've just been talking about your show?
My patches are available. If anyone wants a Pew Pew Jew patch, it's go to the pewpewjew.com. I lied. Sorry. You can go to yehudaremer.com.
Okay.
The Pew Pew Jew is still a landing page saying that the store is coming soon. But if anyone wants to know more about me, yehudaremer.com.
yehudaremer.com. And remember, you can pick up all of his books. He's got Safety On, the 10 Little Liberals, the ABC of Guns. All of those are available on yehudaremer.com, correct?
Amazon.
All of those are...
Everything will be available on my shop as soon as I get it up.
Excellent. Good to know. It's good to see you again. Let's talk again real soon.
Yeah, let me know anytime. Okay. I'm always...
Excellent. And I'm going to do the outro music if you want to hang out for that. Cool. All right. Thanks, buddy. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is Matt Wright for The Writer's Block. You can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/The Writer's Block. You can also tune in to the Muddied Waters of Freedom every Tuesday now at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can follow us at facebook.com/Muddied Waters of Freedom or on any of the other websites that are out there. I'm certain you probably know where they are by now. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all next week.
Everyone.
That was totally not the right song. Nope, still not the right song.
We are the misbehaviors. We are your sinners and saviors.